No, it. Oh, I was gonna say actually last week we were live like when we were searching, or yeah. Mm-mm. Actually, last week we were live like when we were searching.
Why is there no video?
We
That's
get no. You need to change your settings in OBS. Did you change something in ball chains?
no. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's. I don't know. It's
Hello, we're here. That
there
was
we go.
actually kind of cool. That just popped up.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Oh, God. Anyway, welcome to the Average Intelligence Podcast. This podcast tonight is brought to you by the Final Frontier podcast and our friends at Vizard.ai. Tonight's going to be a fun one. Eric gets to do his favorite thing ever. Try to convince me.
I don't think there's really no way of convincing you until you
That's
find it out on your own and you
no, that's
confirm what I said.
I have learned those two experiences. I was just at the outset of this episode. I want to be crystal clear. There's been more than two times, but two times that come to mind where not only were you right, but it was actually worse than you said. Like it was actually worse. Because
Like
I
one of them
remember,
coming true was the bill.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's three.
Oh, there you go.
Well, no, because I heard about it from you and just by happenstance, probably because we were talking about it and then it came up on my phone about Alex Jones talking about Epstein Island
Yeah, Google was listening.
for sure. But did you say? And I was like, man, there's come on. And then maybe a year later, probably not even. It was like, oh God, the island exists.
It does, and it did. Like
And
it's
then
dead now.
yeah, and then the other one didn't somebody buy? No, somebody bought the plane. Um, don't know about the
Oh, did
island.
they? Oh
Yeah,
gosh,
well, I
can you
think a
imagine the
rent.
bad energy
Well,
on there?
well, because there was some kerfuffle. Was it? Now I can't remember. I can't remember if it was Trump or a Republican congressman. Some rental company bought the plane, and everybody was making a big deal out of like, "Oh, I can't believe he's using Epstein's plane." And it's like, well, first of all, I'm pretty sure they. I doubt anyone would have been like, "Is that Epstein's plane? Can we take that one?" Like
Hmm.
they would have had no idea. And but then the other but I wonder about the island. I wonder if anybody's got the strange desire to buy that one.
Don't know, but
You know what they should do honestly is they should whatever country's waters that island is in, they should bulldoze the house that they haven't already and just turn it into a nature preserve. Let no people are allowed there ever. Just only animals. That's what
yeah,
they
that would
should
be
do.
cool. Dinosaurs.
Yeah, I thought it was Trump, Justin. And then the other time was we were on a podcast for this one, so if you feel I forget which one, but if you feel so inclined, you can go back and look. And Eric's sitting here telling me it's like, yeah, the what was the fetus body part, the fetal body parts, they're selling them. And
Yeah,
I was like, oh, they are not. And then
not Planned Parenthood, but workers of Planned Parenthood, just so we're being clear.
oh no, I thought it was a contract because it was like official and every. But anyway, regardless,
Wait a
um,
minute, you might be right.
I think I was, no, because this was in the news, and I'm reading this article, and I'm like, and then I sent it to you, and you were like, ah, see, I told you. I'm like, no, read it. It's worse. It's worse than what you were saying. Because I think you had said employee. That's what it was. You had said employees were doing it. And I was like, no, 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 no. There's contracts, dude. And it wasn't the entire company, but it was like several offices
Hmm.
were doing this. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's
But
more than a little fucked up.
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
All right.
But
So what we're
I've had a few.
so what we're doing here tonight. in case you people didn't read. Eric's got his top 5 conspiracy theories. I do not know what they are. I got a feeling about a few of them, but I don't know about 5. And
I'll
he's
give you the
going to,
I'll give you the lowdown. I'm not gonna tell what they are right away, but like
right,
I'll
you're
give
going to
you the
go in
lowdown.
sequential. Oh no, just because you
Well,
fuckers got to
so,
watch
so
the whole
some
thing,
of them I don't necessarily believe in.
but they're your
So
favorite ones.
they're good conspiracies because like there's a lot of evidence, you know. So like, I mean, yeah. So we'll get to that when we
So
cross that.
he's going to tell me these, and then I'm going to react and then agree and or debate the merits of them. So we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, and the
So
funny thing is, I will probably essentially maybe debunk myself too because I'm good at that.
those are always the fun ones, right?
We'll
Although
see.
here's the funny thing though, and we have a special treat for those of you, which we'll probably do this first, actually, now that I think about it. So I did a thing today. So what viewers of this podcast may not know is that I have spent the better part of 2 years trying to create a commercial for our podcast. It's much more difficult than you think it would be because it really came down to kind of sort of laziness because I didn't want to comb through our nearly five. Actually, I think it'll be 5 years in October. I don't want to comb through 5 years of podcast footage to find all the things like politics, code, all that. But then I thought, oh, movie trailer, and actually where the idea started was there is a moment. I didn't even remember what podcast it was from, but now I know because I had to go find it. There's a moment that I think perfectly encapsulates what this podcast is, and it's less than a minute. It's only a few seconds, but I think it's a perfect representation of what this podcast is. In the middle of a film review, this happened, but I thought it'd be even funnier if we came off of something that was like super serious and then just cut to that. And then that is so the description on our YouTube page literally says everything you need to know about the Average Intelligence podcast in less than a minute. So without further ado, here is the which I'm actually thinking about running an ad campaign with this because I think it's
You're welcome.
yeah, like
Just so we're saying.
let us know in the comments if you would click on this if this ad came across your screen.
We choose to go to the moon and investigate and do the other things.
Weird. Weird.
You know, someone said that freaking Panera's Pepsi's taste funny.
Better.
No, I mean,
What?
Voila. Or as you said, magnifique.
Magnifique. That was good.
So yeah, that is the perfect in my opinion, that is the perfect encapsulation of what we do.
Dad jokes are accepted because I'm a dad. I'm a dad.
What's my excuse?
You're dad adjacent.
I have
Uncle.
dad and I have dad and yeah, I do tell uncle jokes. Yeah, that's
And
true.
you are an uncle.
This is true. Be a stepfather soon. But anyway, I digress. So, hit me with that first conspiracy theory.
The moon,
Dear
and
God.
I'm not talking about the landing. The moon is a satellite, of course, but it is false. It was put there because in the when hold on, what's his face? Oh, who was it that said the first lunar missions when they ran into the moon with their landing gear, it rang like a bell. Bing for hours after they landed because of it's like why would the surface of an asteroid or what you might call it whatever I know there's
The
H3
moon.
presence No, I know, but why would it ring like a bell?
It,
That's
it
just
wouldn't
odd.
though. This one's easy.
That's the point.
Well, no, this one's easy to debunk.
And uh the ringing did not come from within inside the ship or outside of the ship, like part of the ship. It was coming from around the ship, so the sound was outside on the moon.
That's
So
that's that's not that's
how?
not possible.
Well, I'm not the one who said it. You'd have to
Oh, I
talk to
know, but
Armstrong. Or was
I
it Buzz? Hold on. Let me do some quick research. I had some stuff pulled up, but my kid, helped it out. Let me see. Who
yeah,
was
that's
it by?
like I oh, this
Uh,
one's easy.
Apollo 12. So never mind. It wasn't the first ones. See, there you go. And like I said, I will debunk myself.
Well,
I didn't say that they were solidified.
yeah, but let's take this one step further, and this is why this one's easy to debunk. And this is actually uh, good critical thinking skills for any of the kids watching. So here's the thing: for you to perceive sound waves, they require not necessarily oxygen, but they require an atmosphere to vibrate through. It's the reason why you actually cannot hear anything in space because there is no gas for the sound waves to travel through. It's an empty void. The moon does,
Has an atmosphere.
yeah,
You're
but
right.
it's not sufficient. It's not sufficient.
Yeah, but it's enough. It's enough for the sound vibrations.
Uh,
Hold on.
I don't think
Moon.
so.
I told you. Atmosphere.
And before anybody says, well, how can they hear the radios? Because there's
Tame.
oxygen inside their.
According to this, no, you cannot hear sound on the moon.
Yeah, because there's insufficient atmosphere for sound waves to
No
travel.
dense atmosphere. Sound needs a medium, so sound travels as a wave. The lunar exosphere, while the moon does have a very thin exosphere, it is so rarefied that it doesn't provide a sufficient medium for sound transmission. And then sound can't travel through solids. But, all right, now let me go back to here and find out who it was who said it rang like a bell.
If it came from Reddit, just it's false.
For nearly an hour. No, 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 no. Like I've seen this on many documentaries watching ancient aliens.
Well, okay, so there's your first mistake.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying it's aliens.
Hakeem, I heard the sun was fake and was made by the Chinese. No, it was made by the Japanese. That's why it's on their flag.
No, because if you really think about it, like we have a moon in the perfect position for life. Like either like
Oh,
a
oh, okay.
creator of some sort put it there, intelligence or whatnot. Like it just doesn't
I'm
make any sense.
I'm
Like what
so
why?
it does though, and I'm so glad you brought that up because this is one of my favorite things to talk
Because
about.
yeah, sorry, we were getting too focused on the bell ringing.
Well, no. So here's the thing. I'm
I
glad you
was.
brought that up because there's an actual name for it. I think it's the pattern recognition fallacy. I think there's a fancier name for it, but I like to call it uh, the cause before
I can hear
correlation
you, but he can't hear
argument.
you.
Oh,
Okay.
you can't hear me?
No, no, no. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was talking outside.
gotcha. I like to call it something to the point of like the cause before the effect fallacy. So, and people look at this is how I was finally able to understand the theory of evolution because even your favorite teacher that hated creationism probably didn't explain this properly. So the way most people are taught evolution is, and even nature documentaries say it, and it's a big problem because I believe it's a big reason why a lot of people misunderstand uh, the theory of evolution because we look at it as a cause of like, well, polar bears evolved brown fur, so they fared better on the snowy tundra. That's not technically incorrect, but what actually happened is there was a genetic mutation in brown bears that because their genetic mutation caused their hair to turn white in their habitat, polar bears were able to hunt more successfully. Now, the green bear that you never saw ever because it evolved in, this is absurd, but the bears that evolved green fur in the desert died out, so we never saw them. That was also a
That's
random
supposed to be able to
genetic
come out like that.
mutation. Yes, it is.
Hold on a second. We got an
No,
interruption.
you're good.
What
You're
it-
good. You're good.
You dropped it?
It just dropped, yeah. I
Okay.
think the screen can just go back in.
I don't know. Can I look at it in a little bit?
Oh, is that her phone screen again?
Yeah.
Oh, she's having bad luck with that thing.
Yeah, it just like the phone does not want to stay in her hands. She used to have a little grip on the back of the phone,
Mhm.
and since she hasn't had one, it's just been bad news bears. So I think
Oh.
we're gonna get one.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully, it just fell apart. Put it back, put it back together.
But so to that point, and what you're saying is factually correct, where we kind of do have the perfect moon for, and maybe not, I don't know about life, but supporting our tidal system, which that's fair because 80% of our planet is
Well, it
covered by
locks us
oceans.
into a perfect rotation for the Goldilocks zone.
That's what. Yes, thank you. That's a more precise way of putting it. We only see that though because it happened. Had it not happened, life wouldn't have evolved, and we wouldn't be here to see it. So,
Yeah.
and that's really how. That's why for a lot of people, creationism, and I'm not saying if you believe in creationism, you're an idiot. I'm just saying that's why creationism makes more sense to a lot of people because when you put the cause, like we live in a cause and effect world, even though the universe is largely random. We only see the stuff that works out because the stuff that doesn't work out
Right.
fizzles out of existence. So
Well,
it seems like intelligent design when in fact it's just we only see what worked.
creationism, like I don't, I consider myself, obviously I don't consider, I am Christian, but like I don't believe in creationism simply just because, like, if God's existed forever, then there's no point for it to be 8,000 years. It could be infinite. It could be millions and billions and eons and whatnot. So, and I'm not, if I'm a creation, then there's more creations out there.
Well, and I want to be clear, just because you don't believe in like the earth being 6,000 years old creationism doesn't mean you don't believe in God. It just means that
Exactly.
you can think logically, which I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of discrepancies with like anything, and especially even when you get down to just like regular science, like, to people talking about subatomic parts, those things. I can't talk right now,
well, it was
like, and
in
people thinking they know how string theory works, and obviously everything's already been flipped on its nose with a new recent discovery.
well,
I
to
can't
be
remember what it
fair,
was,
to be fair,
God particle or something.
no real physicist would
Hey,
actually
Haley.
say they understand how string theory works because they'd be the first to admit they don't have a fucking clue how it actually works. That's what they're
Mm.
researching, right? Um, but
It
there was
sounds
another
cool.
thing. Well, so for another thing, and I forget what year it is, and I forget her name, but she was voiced by Kirsten Dunst in Cosmos: A Space-Time Odyssey. I want to say it was the early 18, it might have even been the late 1800s. For a very, very long time, it was believed that stars were composed of like like it was thought that some contained iron and other more complex elements. Turns out it's basically hydrogen and helium. And that was in the scheme of our scientific knowledge, that was a fairly recent discovery. So yeah, I mean, and the thing is, a star being made of, you know, of carbon or iron or whatever, it made sense because we've seen metal behave that way when it gets hot. So I mean, it made logical sense, but it turned out to be wrong. So
All right, getting back to the moon. Do you think we like that I don't know if you know this, but does the Earth have helium-3?
I don't know about helium three
The moon
specifically.
does. I can't remember
Probably
that. Hold
then.
on. Okay, yeah, we have piles of. Okay, but anyway, so I don't know if you know this, but the moon actually has like so much helium-3 on it that we could essentially use that for some type of, whatever we need, but just the mining it and getting it back to us would be crazy. But sides that, like, I still think it's I'm not gonna say man-made. I don't know what to call it. What would you, not that it's fake, like, obviously it's real, it's up there, but like I think it was put there by some type of intelligent design, because like I said, going back, it's so perfect how everything is title locked, and yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
just,
title. That's what I'm getting at, though. It's title locked because of the moon being there. If the moon weren't
yeah, that's
there,
my
it
point.
wouldn't.
It's perfect. Without it, we don't exist. Because literally, if the moon, like, if Piccolo were to destroy the moon for us right now, we'd all be dead within like a
Oh, we would.
matter of like years, because the Earth would just continue speeding up, and all hell would break loose.
Well, not to mention
Like, that's,
it would
people
completely mess up the
don't,
title table.
yeah, like
Like that'd be the
people like
least of it.
people want to believe in miracles so bad, but at the same time, they like forget that like all you have to do is just look around and be like,
Oh, you want to talk about
holy
that?
shit, there's
Talk
a
about
big white ball in the sky, and then there's a big yellow ball in the sky. One keeps it keeping us going like this, and one keeps us warm.
and keeps us going like this, yeah. And
Yeah, you know what I mean.
we're yeah, yeah, and we are in that perfect zone. But the thing that I'm going to go back to is the only reason that we see the pattern is because the pattern happened randomly. If it had
Mhm.
happened any other way, we wouldn't be here to perceive it, because it's not like other planets don't have moons, but ours does.
It's
And it's also
perfect.
it's at scale too. It's kind of the perfect size. Like I know there's a little
Hmm.
bit of variation, but it's also one. I think I read somewhere, I could be wrong, but I think it's also one of the more spherical moons, and that's due, for those of you who don't know, or at least I don't even I believe this. I don't consider it a theory, but I guess the prevailing theory is that our moon is actually made of chunks from old Earth that, because of a giant collision,
I can
they
explain do you know that story?
you explain
Okay,
it
so
better than
so
me,
so the
probably.
Earth, the like the original planet, like, supposedly the original planet was not Earth. There was another planet that was actually going, spinning in its place, forming billions of years ago, and then Earth came along. I think, or it's vice versa. I can't remember. Earth came along and smashed into that planet, and then as it was, going through all its chaos, a piece broke off and turned into the moon, supposedly, and like,
Because
don't get me wrong, I'm not
it
saying
got
that can't
trapped.
happen.
Yeah, but
It got trapped in its gravitational
yeah,
lock.
it coalesced just far enough away to be trapped in
Hmm.
its gravity, but not so close that it got sucked back in. Yes.
And then some damn freaking fish decided to grow legs, and now we got to pay taxes. Just kidding.
And for anyone who's like, you two, why are you two sounding like you know what you're talking about? I refer to the chimp in the background. Let's,
He sold 2 houses today.
hey, in this market, that might as well be six. Yeah, so I want to say we kibosh that one. Next conspiracy theory.
All right, and on to the next one. We are. Hmm. The universe was forever changed when the Large Hadron Collider came on in September 10th of 2008. That's when it started, because if you remember, shit started going downhill in 2008. And then 2008 to 2012, it was like, it's like it sucked. But then
So
2012 on, it
so
just,
I I
I don't
I I
know, like,
just
things have felt not real for a very long time.
I just
Like,
want to be
things are not the
clear.
same. Meat's different.
I want to be clear. Are you saying that because of the discovery of the
Okay,
Higgs
hold
boson
on.
particle, we got a
Let
black
me start.
president?
Let, no, that was actually cool, because he basically bought my air conditioner in 2008 when when I got the stimulus check, and I was in a hot ass apartment, and I was able to go right to Walmart and go buy a freaking air conditioner. So I didn't hate Obama. I'm just gonna say that. Dude made sure I was comfortable. Anyway, so the Large Hadron
I
Collider,
guess.
that they say when they first turned it on, I can't remember if it was in 2000, I mean 2008 was when they first turned it on, but 2012 there was some kind of significance to that. I can't remember,
Was that the
but
year they actually discovered the particle?
I think that's what it was, because I think they were doing something like, yeah, I don't know what the tests are, like average. I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah.
But so they turned that on, and our universe essentially died, ceased to exist, and our collective consciousness merged with the next one, and that's why people think that they see Mandela effects, other than people just getting shit wrong.
Well, I
Don't get me
can.
wrong. There's some weird ones
Oh
out
wow.
there that I can't explain, but what?
Oh, this is weird. The Higgs boson was discovered on July 4th, 2012. So, yay, America? I'm sure
No,
that's
it
what.
wasn't America. It was Switzerland, the
I
Large
know,
Hadron Collider.
but it's July 4th.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and that's another thing. And every time they had turned it on, supposedly they talked about it mess with things. The theory is that it's time testing time travel. Oh, they're testing time travel.
I'm not with the Higgs boson, they're not, but that might be the.
Like seriously, like I remember Fruit Loops. Do you know about the Fruit Loops? That boggles my mind. And like I swear to this day, I had a copy of that stupid Sinbad movie. Like I didn't have Shaquille O'Neal's thing, man. Like that
Wait,
shit was
it
like
was Sinbad.
Kazam. No,
Yeah,
see,
Kazam.
see, no. All right. Shazam is the original, is the real one supposedly with Shaquille O'Neal, and Kazam, right?
No,
Who's
it's always
Kazam?
been.
Was that
It's
Shaquille
always been.
O'Neal? It was not Sinbad, bud. Like apparently that's never existed.
What the? What the fuck?
See, we died in 2012, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you this. We moved over to the next universe. I mean, do you not know about all the government operations like Looking Glass and whatnot?
Fuck no, no,
Yeah.
no.
The Large Hadron Collider that they supposedly think is for government programs to find that shit. Exactly Berenstein Bears, not
Oh no, that one I
Berenstain.
Berenstein.
I remember like Steen. Like I would call them Stein because Stein.
Well, that's just a different pronunciation. That depends on if you're pronouncing it in German or Yiddish.
But you're not saying Stain.
No,
I
but it's
never said
Bernstein.
Stain. Berenstain. That just sounds wrong. I know exactly Berenstain.
It's
Like
Bernstein. Who says
how the hell did so
Oh,
many kids get?
Bearstain. Yeah, I
It's
guess they do say Bearstain.
Stain. It's not E. Yeah,
What?
like it's ridiculous. Yes, AIN, not EIN. Employment identification number.
Motherfucker. When did that happen?
2012.
No, no, no.
Yeah. And the Monopoly guy never had a monocle.
That I did know.
I think a lot of people got him confused with the
Oh,
Planner's
well,
Peanut
okay. This makes
because he wore
sense.
a monocle.
This makes sense because that's true. I was created by Stan and Jan Bar. Okay, this seems fucking fake.
Dude, there's
Berenstain
many
Bears is a children's
more
literature
out there, and they're
franchise
just as bizarre.
created by Stan and Jan Berenstain.
Well, this is gonna be excellent shorts
Their
fodder.
names are Jan and Stan. Fuck off. No.
Jan, thank you, Jan. Who's
That's
coming with me?
okay. I agree with that one.
Like that. So,
What
like, I'm
happened
not
is
obviously I'm not saying it's 100. It's not correct. I don't know, but
no.
it's
What happened
weird.
though is when they discovered when they smashed those particles
Yes,
together, it
he
created a
is.
black hole, and it sucked us and our counterparts into the other universe, our parallel universe, where we had the Berenstein Bears because they were fucking Jewish, and uh, and Sinbad was in Kazam. I,
No, see, you want to know what happened? Like, all right. Side theory, and I screwed up. I was going to
this
wear
one's
my
not an
I was going
account.
to wear my tinfoil hat shirt. I
It's okay.
screwed up.
You got it in the thumbnail. Oh, I should have worn. Fuck. Hang
I
on.
know. Like,
I'll be right back.
all right.
Mine's handy.
And yes, he is getting Mandela affected live on air. Mr. Jake is a matter of fact guy. So the thing is, when he hears something weird like that, it's just hard for him to believe until he goes to look it up. But yeah, this is the stuff that I jive on. I've got 3 more after this too, and they're gonna be fun.
Okay. Available on our shop, by the way. rtmedia.org.
I can't
Shop
find
that.
mine.
Okay.
The move.
Yeah, and a Mandela Effect live on air.
All right, so what will we where were we at? I literally lost my train of thought. I
I
had a whole
don't
last point and it was a
I
good
don't
one.
I don't I don't I don't think that the discovery of the Higgs boson altered our universe. Because here's the thing, though, and this is what the Higgs boson
Oh,
particle
I
existed
remember.
the whole time. We just hadn't observed it, and all the Higgs
It's not the
boson.
fact that it's not the observation of the Higgs boson.
Oh, it
It
was the
was
actual smashing of the
the
particles.
energy used. Basically, what they did was to observe it was create an artificial black hole, and it's like you don't do that. We've seen
Well,
plenty of science movies. You don't do that. You don't. The
okay.
power in the palm of my hand. Listen here, Doc Ock. Like we don't want to sink the damn bridge. Don't
I
fuck
mean,
with black holes.
I
I
mean,
know,
case in point,
but
Event Horizon.
well, event her exactly. Like that shit. That dude, that movie's underrated. That is not fair. It's a cult classic, but the thing is, it failed in the movie theaters. If you haven't seen Event Horizon, do yourself a favor and watch it. Like it's like there's not a whole lot of CGI except for like some of the space stuff, but like
No,
it's
that was
a
back
fantastic
when
movie.
they made movies and actually built sets and shot on locations, and they used
And
computer
actually did
imagery.
makeup and
Yeah, and they used the
dude,
computer
Sam Neill's
imagery to,
face,
yeah. But
dude.
that was back when they used CGI to augment stuff instead of just replace it entirely. And
Yeah, that's okay though. Like they did what they could with what they had at the time, and
well, no,
honestly,
that's what I'm
some of
saying.
those
It's
movies are
better.
still timeless.
It's
Yeah,
better. And the thing is, if you digitally remaster the image, I'm not saying this about Event Horizon, but there are movies that were made in the past that as long as you update like the resolution, it looks
yeah.
just as
Ask
good,
Michael
if not
Bay
better.
with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like he screwed up. He should have just went back to back to formula.
Here's the thing, and this might be a hot take, but I don't think
You
it
know, I
is.
consider myself a director. Sorry, I screwed that up.
Well, no, this might be a hot take, but I still think that the 1990 original Ninja Turtles movie holds up as well, if not better, than every other version since.
And it captures the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles better than anything, even the cartoons.
I think it was the best of both worlds because, like, I grew up on the cartoon, so I didn't know the turtles were dark until much later. But that movie, I think, is the perfect balance because it has an edge to it,
Mhm.
but it's still. I'm not going to call it a kids movie, but I would say it's a family movie. Like a family of just about any age can watch it, and the little kids think they're seeing a bad movie because Raph says "damn" like 3 times, and they're like, I
And they're
remember
like,
that's
"Oh no!"
I remember that's how I felt. That movie came out when I was 3 years old, so I'm like, when he's just like at the beginning of the movie too, he's like, "Damn," and I was like, "Oh, did my
But
parents hear that?"
okay, so back to the Large Hadron Collider and just that pretty much the Large Hadron Collider period, simply just because every time they turn it on, shit fucks up. I swear, I don't care what anyone says. Anyway, so like there were all kinds of other government programs. Do you remember a movie called The Mist with old boy? He was
Yes.
Thomas Jane, and the craziest ending, like oh my gosh, like he shoots his own kid and then shoots, or I mean he shoots the old people and then has to shoot his own kid, and then he doesn't have a bullet left for him, and then he finally sees that they're being rescued right after.
Ooh,
Fuck
yeah.
that movie. But anyway, so that movie was actually about Operation Looking Glass, which a lot of people think that that's what the governments are using the Large Hadron Collider and similar like technologies are throughout the world. They're using that for that still. They're trying to peek next door and see what's there. And if you had watched Stranger Things, you would know it's also about that. It's so
Well,
good.
yes and no, because I mean, ostensibly, they're using the Large Hadron Collider for many things, um, not least of which the discovery or the observation rather, because the Higgs boson's been theorized for a long time. And for those who don't know, that's the particle that gives atoms their mass. So
They nicknamed it the God particle.
yeah, because that is essentially, again, it gives it mass, it makes it take up space. So it makes sense. It does make
Dude,
sense.
And it's crazy how things with such large mass sit on like gravity, like within it. It's like a soft blanket, and it's a heavy ball sitting in a soft blanket. It looks so cool.
And what I love about that is like that's still not, obviously it's not accurate because we have gravity affecting it, but it is the best sort of weird representation that we again, you're
Mhm.
trying to explain a
Things
four.
that we actually can't explain.
Yeah,
That's the
I
thing
mean
about all this. Like,
we can, but we can't visually represent them in real life. We have to create images to do that,
yeah,
and it's wild.
it's insane, but like
And it's
it's
things that we know, like we know it exists, we know it happens because we can see the thing happening. And like
mhm.
black holes, for example, we've observed them, but obviously you can't. I mean, now you can see it because we have an image, but it's like a really shitty image. It's like I've heard
uh
similar theory. Go for it.
uh Justin says, I've heard a similar theory. Every time they turn on had the Large Hadron Collider, they're trying to travel to other dimensions, and that's what's causing Mandela effect fuckery. Um, I've heard that as well too, but honestly, like we don't have that kind of power on this planet. Like we would have to literally harness the sun in order to break through time and space. Like we don't have enough. If we can't travel to the if we can't travel at the speed of light, we're definitely not traveling next door because you have to have a massive amount of energy. Um, and then on top of that, we don't even really have anything in the universe, I think, that would, short of a supernova burst or gamma ray burst. And there's no one collecting that energy.
Well,
You're just demolished.
you'd have no way to contain
Dust.
it.
Well, I mean, if the sun decided to shoot off a gamma ray burst, a large gamma ray burst, like we would see a flash of light and then it's over. Nobody.
Would we even see the flash of light? Well, I guess we would see the flash of light. Yeah, we would see the flash of light first,
You would
and
see
then
the flash of light, and it takes 7 minutes for sunlight to reach the Earth. A gamma ray burst would take, I think, 2 to 3 seconds or something like that.
so it would be faster than the speed of light. Then
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
by far.
I'm asking. I
So,
don't know
well, actually, that may not be true. I don't
because
know. Let me double. Let
I
me.
don't think it could be. So it would be. I believe
Jamie,
certainly
look that
couldn't
up.
be. It would be seconds after. So you'd see
All right.
like a big flash of light, and then you would just Raiders. It would Raiders you.
All right. Versus speed of light. See,
If
this is how
anything,
you
they're
have to
the same.
Google. 186,000 miles per second. So the
Which
thing is, it would take 7 minutes for it to get to us then, because
wait,
it takes 6 or 7 minutes for sunlight to reach the Earth. So obviously, it would take the same time for that.
so you're telling me that I first heard the speed of light on Dragon Ball Z?
You did, and it doesn't even make sense because he's not using the speed of light on Dragon Ball Z. You know that, right?
I think that's an
He moves
English.
way too fast because yeah, you're right because of what instant transmission.
Yeah,
So in the comic, well, not in the comics, but in the manga, they call it instantaneous movement.
yeah.
Is that right?
I think
Or
that's
something like
right.
that.
I think that's the
Basically,
direct translation.
so Goku and do you know if the who is the Kai? Um Supreme Kai. Did Supreme Kai know the Yardrat's instant?
I think so. I think somebody made reference to it.
But yet freaking Whis can't do that. Like he has to
That's
travel.
true.
Like
Yeah.
but he's just traveling with his own speed.
Well, he's
It
got
only
that
takes him
cube
the
thing.
23 minutes to get
Oh
to
no, he
Earth.
doesn't need the cube thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was just for the to have everybody travel with them,
Correct. Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Do we want to move on or do you want to stay on that?
I don't
Because
know.
we could talk about that for a
I
long
I
time.
don't know. I don't know. I'd chalk
I took a
that
lot of
one up
meds, so we're
to
good.
I'd chalk that one up to I don't necessarily buy it, but if it turned out it was true, I wouldn't be that surprised.
Oh, the Large Hadron Collider messing with the fabric of space-time.
Yeah.
Kind of like Flashpoint.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. But
Because the
yeah.
thing is, the Flash is able to produce so much energy, he's able to go back in time.
Well, okay. So actually,
Well, and
that's
then
technically
I'm sorry, he also has access to the Speed Force, which allows him that uh time. Because if you don't have
yeah.
access to the Speed Force, you can't travel in time, right?
So what it amounts to, I think it depends on which version too, because he doesn't. Okay, so in order to theoretically travel backwards in time outside of a not a wormhole, but I guess yeah, I guess technically in a wormhole you could travel back in time outside of a secondary force that would bend space time. Listen to me talk like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You would have to travel because the closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time travels for you. So if you travel faster than the speed of light, theoretically you are traveling backwards in time. The problem is that no matter what material thus far, anything that would reach the speed of light would dematerialize into energy.
Yep.
Now, in universe, the Flash is able to do this because there are times where the Flash has traveled back in time through the Speed Force. The Speed Force enables him to travel faster than light speed without dematerializing his mass. So,
Well,
sci-fi.
also, I mean, he also knows how to phase too. So technically, do you think he would be phasing while he's doing that?
Probably that would probably be a byproduct of it.
He
I
could
was
also
just
try
about to
slinging around the moon.
slingshotting around. Yeah, because in Star Trek there are several ways one can travel back in time. One of which is slingshotting around the sun. Which, fun fact, we discovered this on the Final Frontier. The entire plot of Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home is that the theoretical possibility of them slingshotting around the sun to travel back in time to grab whales. No, that is the plot of the movie. I'm not being hyperbolic. That is actually the plot of the movie. Funnily enough, though, which actually leads into our sponsorship segment. Thank you, Justin. We found out in an episode of season one the fourth movie shouldn't exist because the Enterprise crew has done that before in the episode where they travel back to the 1960s on accident. That's how they get back, too. It doesn't make any sense. But if you like your Star Trek fun facts, well, set your phasers to fun and buckle up for the Final Frontier podcast.
The Final Frontier podcast. These are the voyages of Jake Boger and Justin Spur. Our weekly mission to explore memories of Star Trek's strange new worlds, to recall the search for new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has had the spare time to go before.
Oh, right? Well, but see, the thing is, like, Big Daddy, for the audience doesn't know this, but I was telling him how I watched Big Daddy for like the first time in 15 years. And Big Daddy was in that crop of movies that were comedies and hilarious comedies, but were also good movies. So, yeah, it's a shame that's sort of died out. Although Sandler put out another one that what am I trying to think of? It wasn't. Oh, actually, he was in it, but it didn't follow his character. Um, it's not even like Big Daddy though. It's on Netflix. You're so not invited to my bat mitzvah. It stars both of his daughters are in it, and he's in it, but he plays the dad in this one. Um, it's funny. It's not as funny as Big Daddy, but it's a good movie. If you don't know anything about Judaism, you might be lost, but I feel like they explain it well enough. Even after the Hanukkah song, you forget that he's Jewish. Oh, speaking of, I just finished. Peter Dinklage was on the Flagrant podcast. Oh my God, that was a good one. That was very funny. Oh, you shouldn't be. Oh, damn it! I thought I unmuted you. It's my bad. You
We
should be good now.
lost Eric's audio.
Sorry. For those of you
He's
who couldn't
back.
hear him, he was saying that for a while he didn't realize that Adam Sandler was Jewish. So
Yeah.
my
You didn't really
comments,
miss anything.
yeah, my comments will make a little bit more sense now. Thanks, Justin, and everybody pointing out my mistakes.
All right, let's move on to the next. All right, so this one it's actually been proven, it just depends on the type of context and how everyone feels about it. Chemtrails. Because
Okay.
the thing is, cloud seeding is real. They use something called silver what is it called? Silver and what is it called? Silver iodide. And silver iodide is literally they say that it doesn't in small doses, it's not harmful. But like when they're literally doing that and they spread it across, like you've looked up at the sky and then you see that shit going across, as the plane goes by. And then as time goes on, it literally keeps getting wider and wider and wider. So it's just falling down. Everyone thinks it's jet fuel. And it's like, if you watch normal jets,
It's not
the
jet fuel.
trail, huh? Well, it's
It's not jet
ice,
fuel.
but it's ice. Basically frozen water, ice. So, but the thing is, like, that's not ice up there. That's whatever they're using for cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is real. Like they don't call them chemtrails, but the thing is, it is chemical because it's silver iodide, which is linked to all sorts of cancers and whatnot. But they say it's not dangerous in small doses. I'm sorry, but when it's covering the whole fucking sky, that's not a small dose, So like cancer
Okay.
rates are
So I
rising,
guess
autism rates are rising because silver iodide is what, Jake? A say it with me. Heavy metal. Heavy metals are damaging to the brain and the body.
So
All
wait,
right.
when you start
Now
a
you,
band, are you gonna name them Silver Iodide because you're a heavy metal band?
dude, that'd be sick.
That would be,
That's actually pretty cool,
it'll
dude.
make you
That's a good
sick.
idea. Silver
Hoax
iodide.
war.
What? All right, hold on a sec. I got to see what the silver iodide. What's the scientific?
Yeah, that's true. We wouldn't want to lose half the podcast. Definitely been there. I'm not sure which part of the chemtrails conspiracy theory you're talking about though, because what are you saying?
AGL, AGL.
Aggle. That's your first single. Um,
All right, go ahead.
what's your claim? I guess what part of the
Oh, I'm sorry. Conspiracy. Okay, so basically, um, cancer is, oh, geez, like how the hell did I get off this? Cancer is a huge business, and the thing is, they're not willing to cure cancer. If they would want to cure cancer, it would already been done. It is a huge profitable business, and in some places where cancer, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is just what I would think. If cancer is like on the not on the rise, but also they're trying to control the weather. But at the same time, they're controlling the weather and they're getting rid of people
they're doing a really
because
shitty
of
job.
population control. Well, I mean, look at who was it? Bill Gates. Was it Bill Gates? He was talking about overpopulation and whatnot. And it's like,
Well,
oh yeah,
yes,
billionaire talking
yes,
about
but
overpopulation.
yeah, but he's yeah, but
Shit, I wouldn't care if we lose half of a podcast. What? That's what the internet's for, so you can lose the people you
but
don't
but
like.
but I guess I'm not following what
I
your
like
claim
open-minded
is.
people. Um, that cloud seeding's real. Chemtrails are real.
But what aspect, I guess? Because here's the thing, like,
People don't believe they're real. They just think it's jet fuel, or I'm sorry, or just ice.
well, that's
Moisture coming out of the jet and then freezing. It doesn't last that long. It's not going to stay up there that long. Like if it's just
well,
moisture.
it will if atmospheric conditions are correct for it, and
No, you
you
need to
have
do a
the
little more
appropriate
research on this one.
No, I've done research. Here's the thing. There's a
Not
reason
enough.
why. Well, okay, so you don't see it with every jet. You see it
Okay, but still,
sometimes.
silver iodide is used in cloud seeding, and it is known to cause cancer. Like it is
Okay.
very, very
Let's
damaging.
back up. Let's back up because I want to make sure I understand your. So define for me what you're talking about when you say cloud seeding.
Cloud seeding, like basically they're
Like they're making
putting
clouds.
well, they claim that it keeps the weather stable. And from my perspective here lately, we've been having some really bad storms here. And I know we've had bad storms in the past, but like we've had some really crazy bad storms.
It's also
Not
spring.
like, well, no, I'm talking like this type of wind. Like when we were kids, I don't really remember wind being like, I remember being strong. Dude, we didn't weigh nothing. It would have picked us up. But like,
Actually,
I remember,
funny you mentioned that. It wasn't even storming
I,
the other day, but I was carrying a back panel, which for those who don't, it's a 1/4 inch piece of plywood that's 8 feet wide, 4 feet tall. And man,
mhm.
a gust of wind caught that some bitch, and I almost went
I'm
flying.
telling you, dude, the wind has picked up. Like everything's like stronger, like, and it's getting
I
stronger and stronger.
I don't know about that. I
Florida
don't
has already banned them. Tennessee has already banned them.
ban what?
Cloud seeding, chemtrails. I say cloud seeding, chemtrails. Just put them two and two together. They're not the same. I don't know if they're the same thing because cloud seeders they're proud of it. They're like, oh, what do you got there? Silver iodide. It's to help keep the weather stable. And I'm just like, well, if you fuck with Mother Nature too much, like, what's gonna happen?
I guess here's okay. So let's look at this in the
They're
context of
not
say
up there with a machine going, Hurricane Katrina was our doing. Like it's just like them spreading some shit in the clouds. Like, they
I
don't know what the fuck
guess
they're doing. They're just trying to do
yeah,
what they can.
I guess the reason I don't buy into this one is because in order to actually affect the weather, like I don't even want to think about the massive amount. Like one plane's not doing it. I don't even think 1,000 planes are doing it.
Oh no, that's why you look up and you see 14, 15, 16, 17 of those different like you'll look up in the middle of the day when it's a sunny day and you'll see probably 20 different stripes across and
Actually,
then pay
you know
attention to
what's
it in an hour and then it spreads and then it falls.
well, you know what's funny? There's actually a way we could prove or disprove this. Unfortunately, we can't do it because we don't have the information. But if you wanted to do it, then you can do this in the United States because every plane that is in the air has to have a flight plan. If it doesn't have a flight plan, then it's
Oh,
considered a
it's
UFO.
no, don't I don't know what I'm trying to say, but these planes are registered. They're not
Yeah,
blacklisted planes or anything
I
like
know.
that.
But
Like
here's my thing. Like here's my thing. So if you look at the air traffic over a given area, let's say somewhere in Florida, you can actually like again, we don't have this information, but it would be possible, and this is why I don't buy it because
well, not anymore because they banned it.
well, even back then, actually, this might be easier to do after the fact. Somebody from like not NASA shit. What's the uh atmospheric science? Fuck, I can't remember the name of the organization. NORAD, atmosphere, North America, Africa, whatever. But they could look at all the air traffic that went over a given area, and they will know whose plane it was, what it was doing, whether it was military, whether it was a
Mhm.
passenger jet, whether it was something or other. And you could look at that and definitively say whether or not they were doing any cloud seeding or if it was just a commercial or military jet passing over.
Mhm. Yeah, and a lot of them you can look that up, and it's not hidden. That's
Yeah,
the
you
thing.
can
It's
look
not
up
hidden.
commercial flights. It's the military that we don't wouldn't
Mhm.
have data for.
Now, silver iodide and a couple other ones, I can't remember what they are, but obviously it's like anything else. It's like them putting. I mean, do you remember when apparently there was aluminum in deodorant?
Yes.
Like they used to put they like we use metal, heavy metals in all kinds of stuff. And heavy metals cause all kinds of irreparable damage to the body, and people just don't think about that. Like I mean, I'm not saying anything about the controlling the weather. Like obviously I think that's a bad idea. I'm more worried about the effect of it coming down to the ground and having an effect on wildlife, having an effect on groundwater, having an effect on all kinds of stuff. It's not like a a scary man in the corner and going, it's just like, we're gonna end up with cancer because of the shit. That's all I care about.
Oh, so actually, they still in some deodorants they still use aluminum.
Yeah, and it's like, what? Did you know a lot of that stuff is actually what makes you stop sweating? Like
Yes.
you
Yep.
don't still sweat, you stop sweating, and that's horrible. Like I switched over to natural deodorant like 2 years ago, and it took me almost a year and a half to detox from it because like I did not sweat.
Hmm.
Sweating is the body's getting rid of toxins, people. It's not
Yeah,
just
but
because you're like
it's
you're
also
busting
smelly.
ass. Well, if you smell, it's because you have a shit diet. You eat enough leafy greens, you won't smell at all, apparently.
But aren't you
That's what
carnivore?
Doctor Seba. No, I'm not anything right now, dude. I still drink Pepsi and eat Taco Bell. I need to. Like my shit's been getting worse. So,
Anyway,
all right. Well, that was a fun one.
my
Now to
verdict.
the.
Just to give my
Oh yeah, yeah.
verdict.
No, you're good. You're good.
I don't. I don't really buy that one. I've heard enough
What
people
don't you
who's
buy of it though? Because
I don't
you
buy that
know.
it's chemical. I am in the camp. I believe the scientists when they say it's simply condensation that under the right atmospheric conditions is visible to the naked eye. Sometimes
So
it's not.
every day,
I mean, yeah, it depends, right?
look
It
up every
depends.
day at noon. From now on, look up
Okay,
every day at noon, and you
I will
count
do
them.
that. And see, I want
Because the
people
thing
to.
is, exactly what you said when we first started this. How many times? Blah, blah, blah. It's like just look up there and then just look at it. Because the thing is, dude, it's not going. If it's just fucking moisture, it's not gonna stay up there that long. It's not.
Well, no, it
Like it's just
dissipates. Of course, it
exactly
dissipates.
quickly. Because the thing is, what happens to rain is as clouds form, rain comes down. Like it's just instantaneous. It's not going to freeze for that long. And why the fuck is it freezing when rain comes down all the time?
Well,
Like,
because it's so
are the
high up.
jets higher than the
Yeah,
clouds that produce rain?
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, average. Come on.
Well, and it also depends. It depends on the barometric pressure, depends on the temperature, depends on the altitude, it depends on the speed at
Hmm.
times, you know.
Which I don't discredit any of that. All I'm saying is literally just them putting that on us. Which, like I said, it's known that they put it in the skies. So like it's
Well,
known that it
it
is a
should
chemical, and
also
they are putting it on there.
it should also be
That's
known that
like
it should also be known though to put this into perspective. An airplane toilet does actually just expel the liquid out.
bowling bombs.
But the thing is, by the time it gets to the ground, it's dissipated so much that it doesn't even hit the ground. It
That's a
dissipates.
space dookie. You ate off that thing. Um, but no, like it's just I don't know. Like I I think all the truth is going to come out eventually. We're going to be 60 and 70 years old with cancer, and they're just going to be like,
Yeah,
oh, it was
we'll be
because of
fucking
this and that.
you watch everyone. We'll be fucking 80, right? And I'll get a goddamn mind link message from Eric being like, "Told you, fucker," with a fucking article talking about how all the diseases that were plaguing us at the turn of the 21st century were because of fucking chemtrails from planes. And I'll
Oh,
just be
dude,
there. God damn it.
this I'm not going to go into this much. I'm just going to give it like 1 minute. But I've been doing a lot of research, and like a lot of cancers and cysts and all kinds of other things are like pockets of fucking parasites in your body. And a lot of people who've been, and I'm not talking like the ivermectin camps and fenbendazole and whatnot. I'm talking people like, like get their diets corrected, and then they take like, do you know whole cloves? Like whole cloves are actually like very good for the body. They taste like shit, but like they help detox your body of foreign parasites, whatnot. Not just by themselves, with a bunch of other shit too. But
This is not medical advice, by the way.
yeah, yeah, not medical
YouTube,
advice. Just
YouTube don't
do
like
your
me.
own research. Yeah, f you YouTube
And
3.
again,
We're coming for you.
if you think we know what we're talking about, I once again draw your attention to the chimp in the suit.
But anyway, so
And
like I said, I didn't want
the
to give that one too
commercial
much.
was the commercial not indicative enough for you? If I had a straw, I would do it right now.
All right, so was that 3 or 4?
That was 3.
That was 3. Okay, so I must have trying to find where. Okay, so let's just go into our fourth. Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell did not kill themselves. They were taken out because they were working on a documentary for uh, pedophiles.
You know what? I'm not really gonna push too much on that one because
And
I'm
it's a
not.
conspiracy theory. It doesn't necessarily mean I believe in it or can prove it. It's a conspiracy theory. It's not fact. I don't know if it's fact, just so
Well,
we're saying and just so we're
and
clear, you two.
and I need to word this carefully because
Yeah, you can
okay,
piss off a lot of people or get in trouble or
well, no, because here's the thing. Like the only I'll I hate to say it this way, but I wouldn't be shocked if that were the case, but I also can't discount the fact that Chester clearly had a lot of I'm not even going to say mental issues because that has a negative.
Cornell too. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
wrong. You're not wrong. So
I
that's
mean,
why I
but
say it's
this is
like
they've said it. Like they've talked about their mental health. So
they were talking about it. I'm sorry, but people who talk about it generally are
yeah.
okay. Like and the
Well,
thing
I
is,
mean,
like, yeah, I know they
yes
were
and
rock
no, yes
stars
and
and
no.
whatnot, but both of them had families, and both of them like had a lot of friends, and they hung out with people, and they're like, don't get me wrong, in the nighttime when no one's around, it's the loneliest time. Like I know how it is. Like I've been
Well,
there,
but then
but
you've got people like Robin Williams who I mean people who knew him well knew, but on the
his was
surface
a little different though because he had Louis
it was.
dementia and he was losing himself, and he did not want to go through that, so he just
Yeah,
took
yeah,
himself,
that I mean
or he was having an episode, and that's what happened.
yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm getting at because on the surface Robin
Proud of
Williams
myself
looked
for
like
remembering that.
but no, on the surface Robin Williams seemed like one of the happiest people on the planet and those who knew him it was not always the case.
Well,
And
see
as someone
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that because he wasn't depressed before he got Louis dementia.
well no, he
I
chalked it
mean,
up because he was
seemingly
done.
like
I don't know.
no,
I'm
no,
not
you're
touching
good.
that
You're
one.
good.
I don't know
Yeah,
because
that's a rough one.
I also don't suffer from depression or bipolar disorder or any of the at least not that I know of. I mean, I'm a little fucked up, but I don't know. I don't know to what degree.
You're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, I don't know. I don't have a fucking clue. Kind
He's
of
like,
don't want to know.
I just get up and go. Like, I mean,
Exactly. Like
what is bitching gonna do? Like, I used to
I
be like
mean,
that too till my spine took a dump on me.
I bitched to myself and into the void.
I used to tell people, I was like, listen, if you're gonna bitch, at least get up and do something. I was like, sitting there doing nothing while you're bitching gets nothing done.
I think it's okay
Get
to
up
give
and bitch
yourself.
about it while you're doing something.
I think
Absolutely, you
you're.
bitch all you want.
I think it's absolutely okay to take a little bit of time and just be like, because that was a few weeks ago, and I mean it was nothing major, but it was a really rough day, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give myself 15 minutes to just fucking bitch, moan, and feel sorry for myself, and then after that, I just got a mess to clean up. But I only took about 10 minutes, but I did. I took about 10 minutes and was like, fuck this, fuck that, this is bullshit, and you're like, yeah, it is bullshit, but guess what? You still got to clean it up. So the sooner you clean it up, but it's different for everybody. Everybody's got shit that they're going through, and everybody deals with it different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I know plenty of people that are like, when you see them hardcore working, you got to be like, are you okay? Because like
No, they're focused.
that's their tell though. That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
Is like that's their tell.
Um,
I might actually
yeah,
buy into that one. I might believe you on that one because that with Chester and yeah.
believe in the conspiracy, not me.
Okay, fair. I'm saying I would probably stand next to you on that one being more plausible than not.
I could see that too because simply actually not in other news but in relevant news I don't know if it's valid or not, but supposedly Chester Bennington's son came out and said something similar to that.
Well, look at Isaac Hayes, right? That
Oh
seemed
yeah,
that
the
seemed cut and dry at
Scientology
the
thing.
time.
Forgot
At
about
the
that.
yeah, at the time that seemed cut and dry, and now we're learning that there was much more going on than met the eye at that time. So
Scientology is so bizarre. I don't get it. Like, I'm not hating on it. Like, believe what you
I
want. I
am.
don't care.
It's some stupid
If
shit.
some spaceship's gonna come pick you up, like, whatever. But like at the same time, like, man, stop
Only,
making people sign
only.
150-year
I
freaking
was gonna say
contracts. They're
only if
dead.
you pay them $700, then you can get on the
Yeah, yeah.
spaceship.
Oh my gosh, man. It's like ET's charging for rides home.
El-
Ouch. Well, economy,
Elliot, advance for $1,200.
man.
You too can be happy.
Dude, I've got gas so bad.
Well, you know what else can
I'm
make
sorry.
you happy?
Beans. Garbanzo. I love beans. Doo.
Other than beans, especially if you make content on YouTube, our friends at Visitor.ai can make you happy because, as we have learned and we tell everybody, the number one tool for growth on YouTube that you need to do is creating shorts. Here's the only problem with that: making shorts, especially making good shorts, takes a lot of fucking time. And it's not easy. It's difficult. And Eric's doing drugs live on air. I'm kidding. They're not drugs.
I didn't even realize I was in the camera. I thought I was over here and I forgot this is a damn fisheye.
Just anyway.
It's
So
not drugs. It's literally
I
earthly.
I know. I'm being a smartass.
Link in bio. Just kidding.
Not really.
Eventually.
But the link for our friends at Visitor.ai who can help you create those shorts in a much, I realize I framed my sentence wrong, can help you create those shorts in much less time, can help you. And their link is in the bio. You should use our link because it lets them know that we sent you. And I believe they have a promotion going on now. I think if you get an early sign up, oh, that must be good for you because your face says that tastes like balls.
It's the same as taking like a nerve pill
Oh, you can
or
feel the healthy.
fix it helps do headaches. Oh god dang. So gross.
But Visitor.ai uses their
Sorry.
proprietary AI engine to take your long. So, for example, what we're going to do, we're going to take this podcast when it's all done. We're going to take the YouTube link, upload it into Wizard's workspace, and their AI technology will cut out the parts of the video that they think will go most viral based on current Google, not Google. I don't know what Google is. Maybe that's the Chinese version. But based on
Bugle.
Google search data, it will pick out and rank the clips most likely to go viral, give you a viral score and tell you why it's likely to go viral. And if you want to be super lazy, it will even generate a video description for you. And if you want to be the laziest of them all, you can just batch export everything. Vizard pre edits and pre captions all the clips for you. Technically speaking, unless you're a perfectionist and control freak like me, you don't actually have to do anything to them. You could be smart and take the easy way, unlike what I do, where I have to touch everything that I do. And I realize now that's a problem. But it's a problem that you won't have to have with Visitor.ai. So click the second link in the description and get started using AI to create your shorts today. Actually, Justin uses it to excellent effect.
Okay.
Conspiracy number
And
5.
conspiracy number 5.
Okay, here's the big one. Here's the big one.
This is a fun one because a lot of people jive with this and some people be like, you're stupid.
Underwear gnomes are not real, Eric.
Paul McCartney died in 1966 in a car crash.
No,
The hell?
he's
No,
performed
what
since then.
you see is William Campbell.
Oh God.
He won. No, seriously, hear me out. He won a I think it was William Campbell or Billy Shears, one of the two. I can't remember the names. So they won a look-alike, and they look just like Paul McCartney in a magazine contest back in the 60s. So supposedly John Lennon and Paul McCartney were having a fight over creative influence, not creative, creative influence, because Paul McCartney was saying, or no,
Yoko
John
can't
was
sing.
saying, no, well, no, it was before her. So John was saying that we need to write something that has a message. like we need to speak to the people. And Paul McCartney's like, we're the Beatles, we write pop songs. And then they got into a tiff. Paul McCartney left the studio late at night in 1966 in November, and literally was something happened. He picked up a not a hitchhiker, someone named Rita. Like, yeah. Anyway, so he picks her up, and they go on about, and she realizes it's Paul McCartney, so she goes into Beatle hysteria. So she makes him wreck the car, and in the process, it decapitated him, and his face was like opened up, looked like a walrus, right? And you know the song "I Am the Walrus."
Oh dear God.
No, see, seriously, hear me out. So like the like MI5, like MI6, whatnot.
Yeah.
Like obviously MI5 was the predecessor, or I don't know if it still exists. I don't know. I don't know how all that stuff works. I'm not from the United
It
Kingdom.
does.
Anyone in the United Kingdom, tell me how it works, or you might know.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, there you go. But anyway, so apparently they thought that there would be a rash of suicides throughout the world because beetle hysteria in that time was really big.
Okay, fun fact, not unfounded. Well, I mean, this happened before, but there's precedent for that because I learned this recently, which we're still suing your ass, motherfucker. When Robbie Williams left Take That, they set up phone lines for depressed fans with the goal of keeping people from hurting themselves. So that is not that is not without precedent.
So anyway, so they went on to essentially after he died, they canceled a lot of I guess tours in '66, which I don't know if it's true or not. I've never actually checked verified that. It's just a fun conspiracy. But anyway, so the I took this, by the way, you over there. Um it's just there's a lot of weird things in their music, like the Paul is dead
There's
man, miss him, miss
there's
him,
a
miss him.
there's a
Like
lot
have you
of
ever
weird
heard some
things
of
in
the
the
stuff
music.
backwards?
No, dude, because I fucking hate the Beatles.
No, dude, you don't even have to like the Beatles. Like it's crazy. I'm pretty sure the guy who created the Paul is dead thing admitted it was a fake. Well, see, the thing is, he did well because no, there was that guy you're talking about was who created the video that you're talking about. From 66 on, they literally flooded their albums with weird things like that. Like they
It
made things set up like a grave, like
it
the Abbey
was the
Road cover.
drugs.
Hold on. Paul was literally the dead body because he was walking without shoes, and then the Paul barrel or John McCartney was the priest because he was in all white. Dude, it's so bizarre, and all the stuff that I'm talking about did come from that mockumentary. The guy says it was a mockumentary, but at the same time, like if they were under threat by MI5, I mean that guy would be threatened too. But it was just some stupid mockumentary video they probably had on a Karma shelf, back in the early 2000s.
Oh
But
man,
it was
karma.
fun,
Ooh.
dude. Like that's a conspiracy theory in itself. How are those things
No,
still
they're
around?
still. uh,
They're junk now. All they do is sell vapes.
I mean, that's
You know,
essentially
like,
yeah. It's not a conspiracy. They just converted into a smoke. They went from a music shop that sold tobacco paraphernalia to a tobacco paraphernalia store that sells some music related items.
oh man, and they had the remote. Well, the one here in our town, growing up, had the most. After they weren't Karma, like I
Oh
don't know, they
yeah,
were
what did
Karma,
they
but they
do?
weren't.
No,
They'd be like, "Oh, you can't say that in here. You can't speak." And I was like, "Huh?" Like someone said, someone was with me, and they said the word weed, and they said, "Please don't talk about that in here." And I was like, "What?" It's
I
like I
just
don't even
remember
touch that stuff.
I saw their pipe selection and it literally I shit you not, dude.
It's
This
a
was back when it was
tobacco
still.
pipe. I was like, "That's a fucking bong."
Oh no, here's the funny part though. This was back when it was still Karma and they had a sense of humor. Is the sign literally said for tobacco use only, and they actually drew a winking smiley face.
Damn. But no, dude, back to the Paul is dead theory though. Like, have you like never like heard that like on one of their songs, literally, if you turn it backwards in one part, it says Paul is dead, man. Miss him, miss him, miss him. Like you can't fake that. Now, obviously, if you put it in there, it could just been a joke. But there was all kinds of weird things that happened and whatnot, and like Paul McCartney's face shifted and changed from like 66 on. It just doesn't look the same. Like I know people age, but it's like your face structure and your ears don't change, Joe Biden.
What are you telling? What? Yeah. Hey,
Why didn't I even bring that up? Joe
What?
Biden is not Joe Biden.
What do you know about it? Huh?
You got a
Yeah.
mask on.
Who?
You son of a bitch. Don't make me get on. I'll kick your fucking ass, man. You made
Listen,
fun of my president one more time. I'm gonna fucking shove that red 40 up your fucking ass.
listen. They're all losers. Every one of them losers. Le who? There.
That's right. You get him, Donnie.
Jim Carrey actually stole that from me.
Is Jim Carrey been doing Biden?
No, it's been Fred Savage the whole time.
Oh, losers. Oh my gosh, I didn't put two and two together. It's late.
Although funny, if Jim Carrey was Biden, I can imagine that during the Obama administration, he just comes out, fine,
I think he played him one time.
probably, but it's just imagine that, fine, let's do all the things that you want to do.
Man. Oh, and by the way, I watched Mask not too long ago. It still holds up.
Really?
The CGI is
Well,
pretty terrible in some
but
spots,
it's
but like
supposed
the
to
movie
be.
overall is very good. Yeah, it's meant to be
It's meant to be
tongue in
cartoony.
cheek. It's meant to be
Yeah.
cartoony. But um no, there's the I'm not really talking about the last one very much, but like there's a lot of weird evidence to seemingly support. I ain't saying it is actually supporting it, but seemingly. It's very weird. And it's very fun to think about all these things. People get bent out of shape. They're like, that's not true. That's just not true. And I'm just like, have an open mind. Just shut up and talk about it. It's okay. It's okay, I promise.
People,
You can.
like, I don't,
They get so bent out of shape about stuff. They're
they
like,
really
oh
do.
no, that can't be happening. I'm like, dude, like you claim conservatives don't have open minds. I will blow your fucking mind.
Well,
I'm not a conservative though, so I'm sorry, I
I
can't
know.
really say that.
I was going to
I'm a
say,
conservatarian.
well, funnily enough,
I
I
like my
actually,
money, but I like my freedom.
which fun fact, I didn't know this. I don't know if this is for every time the Supreme Court does oral arguments, but sometimes they live stream it, the audio, which I was listening to some of it
Really?
today. Yeah, I was listening to some of it today because they're doing oral arguments. It's allegedly, well, not the original case was about the 14th Amendment birthright citizenship, but what they were really kind of doing oral arguments on was basically the executive branch saying like, okay, and I'm butchering this because I'm still listening to it, but basically the government, being the executive branch, the Trump's lawyer, is basically arguing like, okay, let's say the government does something that hurts someone. Like, let's say the government or a corporation, based on their argument, decides to dump a bunch of carcinogenic materials in a lake that infects groundwater. So, according to the government's logic, if someone came in and sued the government, then that person could get the government to stop doing it, but only for that person. In order to stop the government from doing something to you, every individual person affected would have to sue the government and win. And
Good luck with that. There's so
well,
many
basic,
closed-minded people.
well, no, that's okay. So they're trying to say, the federal government is trying to say that anytime you want to try to stop the government from infringing upon people's rights, every individual person would have to hire a lawyer and sue them. So, for example, like let's say that
Fucking
let's
lawyers be
say
making bank.
well, no shit. Well, let's say that the government violated. Okay, this is a good example. Let's say that the government violated every American's Fifth Amendment right by illegally searching their, uh, effectively their mobile devices at once. Let's just say that a warrantless search of everyone's mobile devices. Based on their logic, in order to get the government to stop doing that, to
You mean like
you,
what Google did?
uh, but yeah, if the government did it, if you wanted the government to
I think
stop
they sold the
infringing,
information to the government. Sorry, go ahead.
probably, but if you wanted to stop the government from infringing upon your Fifth Amendment rights, or Fourth Amendment, I'm sorry, not Fifth Amendment, but if you wanted the government to stop infringing upon your rights, you would have to sue them to get them to stop doing it to you, instead of basically what would amount to a federal class action suit where you would just stop them from doing the thing. And
Which would be great.
well, basically, well, right now that's how it is. If the government gets sued for infringing upon people's rights and they lose, they stop doing the thing. It doesn't matter if you actually sued them or not. And basically, all the justices, even the conservative ones, are like, how would this work exactly? Like, your argument doesn't, like, you don't even have a fully formed argument because you don't know. I think it was yeah, it was Kavanaugh. Conservative Justice Kavanaugh, on the topic of the 14th Amendment, was even asking, was like, this is just an operational question. How would the federal government stop the states from issuing, like, how would you stop the citizenship from being applied? And the government lawyers basically, like, it's one of the worst coherent, worstly put together thoughts I've ever heard. Where basically he's like, well, we don't know. He essentially says we don't know. And I'm like, well, then what the fuck are you arguing in the Supreme Court for? If you don't even know how you're gonna do the fucking thing, why the fuck are you even there, wasting taxpayer dollars to pay your fucking stupid ass salary?
I hate
It's
politics.
it's so fucking
It's ridiculous.
yeah. Yeah, it's fucking wild. I feel here's a conspiracy. I feel like Donald Trump got replaced
You
somehow.
think?
He's not acting like first term Trump at all.
Well, because I think he learned because you
Clearly
had a lot
not.
of well, I mean, in the first term, like he was on X, formerly Twitter.
Twitter.
He was on that all the time because the thing is, he was trying to talk to the media, but they kept like cutting bites up and trying to make him look bad. And I'm just like, and what they did to Joe Rogan, making him look fucking yellow,
Yeah, but
on purpose, make
unfortunately,
him look
but
sick. I know, but like, so he literally, doing all that stuff. So he just took it to himself to just like supposedly give updates, and I'm like, man, you give too many updates. Like, we don't need updates there, Tourette's guy. Update. But it's like,
they
but other than that, like he just he's learned, and he's older now. He's fucking
but
10
that's
years
just
older from
but that's just
2016.
it.
Well,
That's
not
just it.
almost.
I don't know what you say he's learned. I don't know in what way he's demonstrating that, because he's doing a lot of the same things that he failed to do in his first administration, but dialing it up to 11. And then he's doing things that completely circumvent things that he did in his first term.
In 2016 to 2018, they had the House and Senate, right?
Yeah, just
He
like they do
still
now.
couldn't get anything done because he still had fucking Republicans putting their heels in the ground. But apparently everybody's on board now. And since they have both, that's why you're seeing him getting all kinds of supposedly shit done. Like, obviously, it's going to take a while. This is another thing is people don't realize it's going to take a while for prices and everything to affect the economy. It's going to take a little bit for us to climb out of this. It's going to take at least a year or two, but
That's not really what I'm talking about, because you're right. That kind of stuff is going to take some time. I'm talking about mainly just the complete and utter, like, I'm not even going to say disregard to the concept. I just think, I'll be honest, I don't think he understands it.
he's
I
10
don't.
years older than what he was, so he's not as sharp. I don't know if he is.
Well, and not so much him, his
I'm not saying he ain't
lawyers.
capable.
I mean, his lawyers, though. These have to be some of the dumbest motherfuckers on planet Earth.
Oh, they've made the dumbest. Well, they're paid, man. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
like,
true. That's true.
don't get me wrong, they're getting paid by him too. But like, when you have people with dark money, and I don't care what anyone says, man. People out there have dark money. Like, let's just be honest. Like, not everybody has dark money. I don't have dark money. I wish, but no. So like, they have dark money to pay these people off, and then do stupid shit. You're like, hey, just make sure you don't do this. We'll
I
take
don't
care
know.
of your
I'm
family.
just, I'm very frustrated with the Dawn.
He hasn't been as quippy, huh? Is that what
No,
you mean,
because
like
now
reporters
he's
and whatnot, or
he's still mouthy, but it's not as clever as it was. And now he just
did
says,
you hear what he did? You see what he did to the Saudi Arabia prince? He played YMCA as they were walking on stage or off stage, and I was like, that's like a
I think it
gay
was
anthem.
off. I think it was off.
And
Well,
I mean, back in the day, it wasn't. It was just for that. It was just for the YMCA. It
I think the
wasn't for.
village
It
people
wasn't a
would
gay anthem.
disagree.
Did they think it? What was it for? That I thought it was for the YMCA. I don't know
I
nothing
mean,
about that song.
it was, but I mean,
I
it
thought it
was
was
the
for the
village people.
YMCA.
It
And the funny thing
was,
is, the
but
YMCA was a Christian freaking. It is a Christian thing, but I can't remember. They came out saying something that was not like Christian related. Like it was something to do with the LGBTQ or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It was in recent news.
oh
And
Jesus, yeah.
what did Justin say?
Don't even get
To
me
be fair, he's
started on
surrounded by
Stephen
men who
Miller.
clearly hate the Constitution, like Stephen Miller, for example.
Don't even get me started on that fucking asshole.
I just don't get how people don't understand that like a lot of people believe in the Constitution because that's our fucking what our country's founded on. Like
I'm not following what you mean by that.
how people like want to change up things and whatnot. Like
Well, I mean,
don't get me wrong, there's things that
here's
do need changed up
well,
because
and
they were written
I
200
guess
years ago,
here's
longer
my
than that.
beef. Here's my beef with it. The Constitution is a document that can be changed. There's just a process. What I don't like is how this administration is seemingly picking and choosing when they want to follow the Constitution, and that's not how this works. I mean, to a point, every administration does that, but this one seems a lot more. And to be fair, part of this is because the media is talking about it more, and I understand that. But
If they're making like blatant like I don't know what you would call it, like against the Constitution, like isn't there something to be done about that if it's
well,
so,
yes, and they largely
bad?
have, and they largely have. But what they're trying to do now, that's what the Supreme Court was hearing
No,
oral
besides
arguments
blocking
on.
them, isn't there some type of like I know you can't indict a sitting president, but like I
No, but
mean,
you can impeach
how
them.
does all this work? Well,
You
I
can
mean,
impeach them.
if it's good enough, impeach him then.
Well, the problem is though, is that there's the Republicans have a majority in the House and Senate right now. So even if they did issue articles of impeachment, it's basically a partisan game. Now,
Mm.
because here's the thing, up to this point, most of what the Trump administration has tried to do that's blatantly unconstitutional has at least been blocked. It may not have been defeated yet, but it's been blocked for the most part. But what they're trying to do right now, that's again, that's what the Supreme Court was talking about today, is they're trying to make it to where a judge's order to a temporary restraining order, yeah, that's what it's called, TRO, would not be valid nationwide. It would only be valid in that jurisdiction. And it's like a federal circuit or appellate judge's order would only be valid in the jurisdiction in which that judge sits, which doesn't make any sense because it's a federal judge.
Might as well just be handled by a state judge.
Well, I mean, by their logic, yes, but that's not how this works because the federal appellate court system and the federal circuit court system are federal judges, which means yes, just because one judge in a certain circuit might happen to be in San Francisco, California, doesn't mean that their decision doesn't reverberate federally. Like it's so patent, like it's so dumb. Like I struggle to find the words to explain how stupid it is on its face.
What did Justin say?
Oh, isn't the accepting the Sky Palace from foreign adversary an impeachable offense? I mean, it is technically unconstitutional, but what they're hoping
What are you
for,
talking about? Talking about the plane
the
that was
plane,
given to
yeah,
him?
yeah.
What hasn't there been like so many other presidents receive gifts?
No, not like that. No. Jimmy Carter had to there's been several times where they've been given gifts, but they're not allowed to keep them because of the Constitution says that the Constitution says that no federal official, particularly president or members of Congress, can receive any like gift, gratuity, or something without the permission of Congress. So if Congress said he could keep the plane, then it'd be fine. But
So is
there's
it Trump's plane or America's plane?
so here's the kicker. So
Because if
while
it's
Trump,
America's plane, we can take that as a gift
well,
because, I
well,
mean, Statue of
well,
Liberty.
well, while Trump is president, it's the State Department's plane. But the deal is that shortly before his presidency ends, it's going to be transferred over to the Donald Trump Congressional Library Organization, which doesn't even exist yet. So it would technically become his plane after the fact. And that's where a lot of
Is that
people have an issue.
illegal?
No, it's not.
So then how's it going to transpire?
It's
Like, why
not.
is everybody, why, yeah, exactly. Why is everybody freaking out? If it's illegal, it's
Be,
not going to
be,
happen. So
because
why
because
complain
if
about it?
because if they don't stop it, it'll just happen. And that's largely what the Trump administration is counting on
To
in a
be
lot
fair,
of
who
things.
cares? It's a plane.
I
If it was
do.
like a if it was a if it was like a I mean, yeah, it's a bribe, but it's from another country, right?
From Qatar, which is the largest monetary
Oh.
sponsor of
Does anyone have a
terrorism.
quid pro quo on the line?
I imagine Qatar would, yes.
No, I'm saying, do you think anyone has some proof? It's like, bring it out then. I'm sick
Well,
and
that
tired of people acting like they're like, oh, they could do this. It's like, no, have some proof. You know, just
well
like I was talking about
that's
all
not
my shit
really.
earlier through this entire podcast. I don't have proof for a lot of it. That's why I call them conspiracy theories. I'm not saying anything
But
like
that
that's conspiracy, but
the quid
this is
pro
kind of
quo
diverting.
the quid pro quo isn't even really the only problem. It's just the fact that he can't accept gifts from foreign governments or monarchs. I mean, like
I
the
just want to
buck
know,
kind of
like,
stops there.
was it actually given to him, like him personally, or who was it given to? I need to know that.
The deal is that it would be given to the State Department until the end of Trump's term, in which time it would be turned over to him. The way as I understand it.
All right, we got rooters. Is Qatar's gift of a plane to President Trump allowed under U.S. law? So U.S. I mean, rooters. That's pretty fair. Do we agree on that?
I mean, it's a European outfit, but I generally find them trustworthy.
Yeah. All right. I'll read quick, read a
I'm
little bit, and
gonna,
then see if anything makes any sense.
I'm gonna read real quick.
Congress has expressly approved gifts from foreign governments in the past. In
It depends.
1877, Congress accepted the Statue of Liberty. This is from Reuters,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
hold on. The foreign emoluments?
Ameliorant. I think it's ameliorants.
Emoluments?
Yeah,
Emoluments?
I
It's
think
not
it's
emo. I'm just making fun of it.
ameliorants. It's ameliorants.
Okay, that word did not bar President Barack Obama in 2009 from receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. What? But the no, which included $1.4 million in cash without congressional consent. So
Did he get to
Obama,
keep the money
there's
though?
one. I mean, it says which included. They said they did not bar President from receiving the Nobel Peace. Oh my gosh, prize, which included the 1.4 million in cash. This is from Reuters, not me.
I actually, if I'd been in Congress, I would have fought that one. Not just because of the money, but also because I don't
Fuck
think that.
yeah! Like he can
I
have
don't
the
think.
Peace Prize, but does he get the 1.4 million? No,
I
he's a
don't think he
president.
does. I don't think he deserved the Peace Prize
What the
personally.
fuck did he get a Peace Prize for? Trump actually almost won. How
He
many Peace
should have.
Prizes for? Yeah,
Well,
for the Middle East shit.
Trump deserved it more than Obama, in my opinion. I
Okay,
didn't know it
and it
came with
says
money
who
though.
can enforce the provisions? It says that's unclear. The Supreme Court has not addressed that question, according to a report by the Congressional Research Service. Legal experts said members of Congress, the United States, and even potentially some private businesses could try to sue the president if they believe the gift violates the foreign, that word you said earlier, clause, but they face challenges. The United States courts require plaintiffs to have legal standing to bring claims, meaning they must be the proper party to bring the case, which is a threshold issue for any litigation case to advance.
Mm.
I don't know.
So basically, it sounds like it is technically
Obama got
illegal.
1.4 million, so
I
I
was gonna
mean,
say
does that
it
count as a
sounds.
bribe?
Probably not from the
See, this is the
Nobel
shit I'm
people,
talking
but
about. Like
yeah.
people, and a lot of people said this before. It's rules for thee, but not rules for me,
Well, and here's
or
the thing about
rule,
the
whatever.
here's the thing about amelioration, and this is actually why I like how certain gifts can be approved. Because let's say, take the Statue of Liberty is a really good example. I mean, there's no real financial gain for that, but it's
No, that one I totally get, but the
yeah.
Barack Obama one, I didn't know that. I knew
I
he
didn't
won
know it
a
came with
Nobel Peace
money.
Prize, but I didn't know he got $1.4 million.
Yeah,
Like,
that I did not know.
I know when you win that stuff, like, don't get me wrong, there's usually money involved, but to give to a sitting president, according to everyone else, that's frowned upon.
Yeah, I have a problem with any president getting $1.4 million for any reason.
Yeah.
But
That's why, like, honestly, like, so that's why I'm just like, whatever. He got a plane. So what? Let's move on. If that guy got 1.4
I
million,
think
let's
I
move
think
on.
I think my biggest, because I'll be honest, in a vacuum, I don't necessarily hate it that they gave him a
I don't
plane.
agree with either. Like,
It's
no,
the
nobody should be
fact,
getting anything for free.
yeah, it's the fact that it's coming from Qatar, and the fact that, and this is what Trump isn't talking about. Um, the president's plane has to have certain security standards. It's going to cost billions of dollars to bring that plane
I think the
into.
head of security already talked about exactly what you're talking about. I watched the video today.
Yeah, but they've got to
He
do
was
it.
biting a reporter's heads off. He goes, "You think we're gonna get a plane and not equip it and strip it down
Oh
and make sure
no,
there's nothing in it?
they are, but that's going to
That's gonna
cost.
cost a lot of money."
It's
Yeah,
going to cost a metric shit ton of money. Now, that being said, I don't know when Air Force One is due for an update, so it might be a
exactly.
moot it might be a moot point.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not by American Airlines or whoever's
Well,
been crashing
and
a
hey,
lot.
hey, to be
Boeing,
fair,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, to be fair, it can't be worse than a Boeing jet. How bad
747
could
going down.
just like their stock. Uh,
And their wives on their other unemployed brothers.
on their Chinese airline manufacturer.
You go
We'll
down now.
we'll
We
work
too
on
low.
we'll we'll workshop that joke and we'll bring it back. But anyway, so that was Eric's top 5 conspiracy theories. Honestly, you didn't bring up any of the ones that I thought you were going to bring up.
I was trying to bring up different ones.
Yeah,
Like
I know you did. Some of them.
I didn't want to bring up the same ones I talk about. I wanted some new information on here.
The
Not new
reason it's
information, but
yeah
different stuff.
the reason it's fun to talk to you about conspiracy theories though is because over half the time you're just like, I don't actually buy this, but it's fun.
That's it. Like, dude, like that's like movies. Like, you know me. I'll go into a movie with a very open mind and I'll watch it. Like, I liked the Batman movie. You hated it. Like the freaking suit was hilarious. No, the inflatable suit was hilarious.
That was funny. Okay,
We both laughed our asses off when that
that was
happened
good
because he
stuff.
looked like the Michelin. He looked like a black Michelin Stay Puft Man or whatever it was from. He's just flying through the
No,
air.
he looked like Cartman if Cartman stuffed himself into a Batman suit.
I'm
I,
vengeance.
I am the night.
But seriously, like,
I'll
I
accept
think you give
you.
him a lot of I think you give him a lot of shit for that one scene where he's holding the guy. You're like, he was beating him up and he wasn't going down. I was like, he was holding his chest with this thing and just kept just pummeling his face. And he's like, who are you? Vengeance. It was so good. It was so good. Like, I don't know what it is about
I
someone
just
just
kind of.
repeatedly going, Archie
Oh,
Lewis, what
Archie.
conspiracy? We were basically at the end of the podcast,
Yeah,
brother.
we're
We
done.
appreciate you stopping in.
You can rewind it though. You
Yeah,
can go
yeah,
back to the beginning.
absolutely. Kick back in. It was so much fun. A few good ones.
Yeah, a few,
We
a few.
talked I talked about chemtrails, we talked about uh the Beatles, we
You
talked
didn't.
about
You didn't bring up your favorite one though,
what?
Michael Obama.
Oh, I don't know. Like I've never seen any actual real proof other than like weird videos, it could just be, edited like but that one video where she's on Oprah and she's swinging, I'm just saying, like that was caught by the freaking their cameras. That wasn't caught by any other cameras.
It's
That was
like
on live
it,
TV.
it's like Ms. Man from Scary Movie.
Yeah.
That's an
What the
old
hell? What the
reference
hell
for
you
you.
mean you talking to him like that? Hey, oh shit. Sorry.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
I saw a video not too long ago, and this trans was talking to this dude, and I don't think he knew, and she's just like, he goes, well, "What about now?" And the dude was like, "Oh,
It's so funny. I just watched it because I'm
oh, it's
doing
George."
because I'm watching South Park all the way through, so it's the first time I will have seen the whole series. And this was the one where they were making fun of Uber, and who's I always it's the kid that hates Timmy, and he hangs out with the kid named Mimsy. I always forget his name, but it's
Jimmy.
no Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't. Jimmy starts out hating Timmy. No, this is the I can't remember his name. But anyway, the, like it's really really bad. Um,
Wait, he also has
yeah,
issues, right?
yeah.
Oh, what is his name? Yeah, yeah. He's got kind of a he sounds like Jimmy. He sounds like
Yeah, he's got a
Kyle's
similar.
cousin, but like cooler. Like I hate to say it like that. Oh, dude, yeah.
What is? I think I.
Technology took us over like completely. It's wild. Nathan, the kid's name is Nathan.
That's right. It is Nathan. Um, the first guy because his strategy because he does Timmy is doing the business to fund their summer camp, and the kid hates summer camp. Nathan hates summer camp, so he's trying to sabotage Timmy's business by working for him and sexually harassing a customer. So the first customer he picks up is a woman that's actually it's actually a guy just dressed as a woman, and unfortunate things happen because he turns out he's like, "Would you like to see my penis?" And then the passenger's like, "You want to see mine?" Oh no! What, Archie? I think I missed a comment of yours.
He said what conspiracies talk about. He says
Yeah,
it's about technologies taking over on society, so it kind of applies.
yeah, but what?
Oh,
I think that's the message I'm
oh,
missing. I'm guessing you have a conspiracy theory you would like to share with us. So be my
yeah,
guest.
go for it.
We can hang out for a little while longer.
Just a little bit longer.
Timmy.
Oh my gosh, dude. Gas.
Oh, that bad.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to call freaking the writers of Interstellar so they can research this.
Did you
This gas cluster over here is phenomenal.
did you see I sent you a reel or something? Here. It was I think it was a girl who just got back from the dentist and her mouth was numb. And then somebody played like the little Nicky bit. Get in the flask.
Did she do it? Get in the flask.
Get in the flask.
I have conspiracy music video about technology. Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'll look at that after the podcast for sure,
Tell
man.
you what, if you want us to, I don't know how you, find us on Instagram if you have Instagram,
Actually,
Average
I'm just
Intelligence
gonna
Podcast. Oh,
write
okay.
this in. Seriously, dude, I've been trying to like stop like paying attention to my phone so much, dude. It's so hard. Like we're so addicted to technology. It's insane. Like I put my phone down and just leave it and forget about it for hours. Like I feel bad for some people because they'll text me or message me, and
This
I
is
don't
true. I
I don't
do
pay
that, but I've just learned to.
I don't pay attention to my phone anymore. I'm trying to get rid of that bad habit. I wish I had a home phone. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather have a home phone and you just call, be like, "Hey, is Eric there?" That's like it used to be when we were kids. Why'd we change that? It was perfect. But
Convenience. Like,
all
you know
right,
what's wild is oh okay, yeah, I see the music video. Um yeah, check it out. But yeah, it's wild. So kids, fun fact for all you Gen Zers out there. Um we were around during a time when if you called somebody on the phone and they didn't answer, you just had to call back later. There was no
or if they
caller
weren't
I
home,
there was no caller ID, there was no voicemail. Like I remember when voicemail was new. All right. I guess you had answering machines though, but not everybody had one.
no, because you had to actually have it connected to you had it connected to the line, and then your phone was connected to it.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at it for sure.
Oh, I was gonna ask you. We'll check it out. I can't do it this time because I don't have it queued up. If you want us to stream it,
Mm.
I'm gonna watch it first. Make sure it's not gonna get us thrown off the air, but I assume it won't.
Yeah,
So no
I'm gonna
promises till I
bring
see
it
it.
up right
But
now.
fuck it, we'll play it. I don't give a shit. I mean, I do give a shit because you made
Well,
it, but
I
you know what
mean,
I mean.
we can watch it and then chat about it.
Yeah, we'll throw it up next time. How's
We'll
that? We'll
just
open the show with it.
no promises, but we're gonna check it out.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it first, but if it if it passes the admittedly low bar
Archie
of
Lewis
the
break
average
the signal.
intelligence podcast,
Is this your own music?
it appears to
Like,
be.
I mean, I know that seems like kind of a dumb question. Was it Archie Lewis?
Yep.
There he is. Got you a subscriber, buddy. Yeah, dude. Independent songwriter. Fuck yeah.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
check it out, man. Yeah,
Fuck that. You
4
want to just
minutes.
come on?
Next podcast, we'll how about next podcast? He obviously he's okay with that. Next podcast, we'll just do a small segment and then we'll shout you out, man.
Hell yeah, we will. Cool. I'm gonna check this out. But for now, I'm
It
going to
was nice
sleep.
meeting you.
I'm going to sleep, and hopefully I don't wake up in the alternate universe where it was fucking Sinbad and Kazam.
Dude, I'm telling you, man.
That's fucking with my head.
Yeah, yeah. That messed with me for a long time too because I just thought both of them existed. To be honest with you, like both
No, dude,
movies, Kazam and Shazam. Because I
I
made
was
fun of it. I was
sure.
like, oh, dude, Shazam is so much better. Kazam is real. That's Shaq.
Yeah.
Kazam. But anyway, all right, everybody. You want to go through your spiel or say goodbye?
Thank you for enjoying this episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. Hopefully, you're a little bit less average and a little bit more intelligent. But after this one, I once again defer you to the chimp in a suit in the background of my cohort's video screen. So, no promises made. Why
I
did
pinned
that
his
get all
comment
the
so
way?
other people
Oh,
can see
okay.
it.
I was gonna say what happened, but yes, be sure to
We
check out
got
the
you, bro.
check out the Final Frontier podcast, especially if you, for some strange reason, like listening to my voice. But
Down the
Justin's there
middle.
too to salvage the thing. And then also check out our friends at Visitor.ai. If you make long form content on YouTube, you will want to check them out. They will save you a lot of time. Until next week, which we have no idea what we're going to talk about, but you can look forward to our friend Archie Lewis's music video at the beginning of next episode. After that, I don't know what the hell we're talking about, but we'll figure something out. And until then,
Archie Lewis, break the signal. We will see you next week. Till then, goodbye.